Hi everyone, today we are going to listen to Grace for President, written by Kelly DiPuccio and illustrated by Louine Pham. It was written in 2008. This book was found in our Primus library. One Monday morning in September, Mrs. Barrington rolled out a big poster with all of the president's pictures on it. Grace Campbell could not believe her eyes. "Where are the girls?" she asked. "Well, that is a very good question," said Mrs. Barrington. "The truth is, our country has never had a woman president." "No girl president? Ever?" Grace asked. "No, I'm afraid not," said Mrs. Barrington. Grace sat at her desk and stewed. No girls? Who ever heard of such a crazy thing? Finally, she raised her hand. "Yes, Grace? Well, I've been thinking it over and I'd like to be president," she said. Several students in her class laughed. "Well, I think that's a star-spangled idea, Grace," said Mrs. Barrington. "In fact, we can have our own election right here at Woodrow Wilson Elementary." The snickering in this room stopped. Grace smiled. "Would anyone else like to run for president?" Mrs. Barrington asked the class, but nobody raised their hand. Becoming president was going to be easy, Grace thought. The next day, Mrs. Barrington made an announcement. "In the name of democracy, I have invited Mr. Waller's class to join our election. Their class has nominated Thomas Cobb to be their presidential candidate." Grace's heart sank. Thomas was the school spelling bee champion. His experiments always took a blue ribbon at the science fair, and he was captain of the soccer team. Becoming president wasn't going to be so easy after all, Grace thought. The teachers put the names of all 50 states and the District of Columbia into a hat. Everyone except Grace and Thomas got to choose a state. "I'm Texas," said Anthony. "I'm New Hampshire," said Rose. "Well, I'm Michigan," said Robbie. "What does the number 16 mean?" "Well, each state is assigned a number of electoral votes. That number is determined by how many people live in that state," said Mrs. Barrington. "Each of you will be a representative for your state. Altogether, our country has 538 electoral votes," Mr. Waller explained. "And on election day, the candidate who receives 270 electoral votes or more wins the election." "Well, why 270?" asked Rose. "That's more than half of all the electoral votes," Mr. Waller said. Becoming president really wasn't going to be so easy, Grace thought. Grace came up with a campaign slogan. It says, "Make history, vote Grace Campbell for president." But Thomas came up with his own campaign slogan, "Vote for Thomas Cobb, the best man for the job." Grace listened to what issues were important to the students, and she made a list of campaign promises. A peaceful school, no bullies, a cleaner school, no littering, better hot lunches, no more fish stick tacos. But Thomas made up his own list of promises. Free tutoring, free soccer lessons, fish stick tacos every week. Grace made campaign posters and buttons, and Thomas made posters and buttons too. Each week, the teacher set aside time for the candidates to meet with their constituents. Polls were taken, and voters were making their choices. Grace continued to campaign. At recess, she gave speeches. And during lunch, she handed out free cupcakes. And after school, she held rallies. Meanwhile, Thomas wasn't worried. He had cleverly calculated that the boys held slightly more electoral votes than the girls. And at recess, Thomas studied his spelling words. And during lunch, he worked on his latest science experiment. And after school, he played soccer. Even before the election, Grace made good on her promises. She joined the safety squad. She organized a school beautification committee, and she volunteered her time in the school cafeteria. Whew, she looks tired. In early November, Woodrow Wilson Elementary hosted a special Election Day assembly. Grace and Thomas took their places on stage as the school band began to play. Henry was the first representative to approach the microphone. The Yellowhammer state of Alabama cast its 9 electoral votes for Thomas Cobb. Fletcher said, the last frontier state of Alaska casts its 3 electoral votes for the best man for the job, Thomas Cobb. And Hannah called out the Grand Canyon state of Arizona cast its 11 electoral votes for Grace Campbell. And so it went. State after state cast their electoral votes. The scoreboard in the gymnasium kept track of the totals. The voting demonstration was quickly coming to an end. Clara approached the podium. The Badger state of Wisconsin cast its 10 votes for the best friend, Grace Campbell. Grace looked at the scoreboard. Thomas had 268 electoral votes. She had 267, and there was only one state still accounted for, Wyoming. Thomas grinned. Grace felt sick. Sam walked up to the microphone. He looked at Thomas. He looked at Grace. He looked down at Grace's handmade flag. Sam didn't say a word. "What are you waiting for?" Thomas whispered. The band stopped playing, and all eyes were on Wyoming. Finally, Sam cleared his throat. The Equality State of Wyoming cast its 3 electoral votes for Grace Campbell. The gymnasium erupted in loud cheers and a few boos. Mrs. Barrington approached the podium. Well, with 270 electoral votes, the winner is Grace Campbell. Thomas looked stunned. Grace hugged Sam. "Why did you do it?" she asked. Sam handed Grace his flag. "Because," he said, "I thought you were the best person for the job." The following week, students in Mrs. Barrington's class were preparing for their career day presentations. Grace volunteered to go first. She stood at the front of the room and glanced at the poster still hanging on the wall. "My name is Grace Campbell, and when I grow up, I'm going to be President of the United States." And this time, everyone believed that she would. The end. You can feel free to pause the video and learn more about the Electoral College if you would like.